One of the things about Britain is we're the first industrialised nation, so it's generations since there was someone in their family who grew food. For a lot of people in urban areas, food just comes from somewhere else, doesn't it? It comes in the supermarket, it's often ready packaged, it's covered in plastic, you don't realise it's grown in soil, and carrots should be dirty, when they come out of the ground, all that kind of stuff.
They're very pro-nuclear and, pro-coal.
Well, I don't know what...
If anybody's got any more questions, go and find her at the serving house.
We're here for a taster session on the Our Food project, which is a community-led food research project.
If we think about food production and consumption as being to provide us with, or maintain and improve our health as the main objective, then it's really working against that.
I think it's worse, isn't it? Because we have more waste and we don't eat as much fresh stuff as what we used to years ago. And I think nobody sits down together like they did years ago for their food.
Well, the dynamic going on is that we have been dependent on fossil fuels for our society, including agriculture and food production, processing, all the way to the plate.
I can't even say that to
I think that food research can be seen as very much a scientifically dominated area. It can be seen as very much tied up with the interests of large businesses that are involved in food systems. So I think that getting alternative perspectives into food research and informing the questions that are actually asked in the first place can only be a really positive thing, and it's something that ties in very much with our ethos at the cooperative. We're about listening to our members and the communities that they live in.
Negative association with research. The food is quite fashionable at the moment, so there's probably a lot.
Well, there's lots of big issues around food. I think people are eating the wrong types of food. There's issues of health. People are wanting to grow their own food, but maybe they don't have the resources.
Very much.
If we look at in economic terms, if we really internalised the true costs, the wider impacts of food production, we would find that sustainably produced foods, such as organic foods or ecological foods, are cheaper to produce. So at the moment, the government spends millions of pounds cleaning up waterways every year, taxpayers' money, which are polluted by intensive agriculture. If you factored those costs into the cost of production, you'd find that industrially produced foods are a lot more expensive than we think.
And people are not stupid. People have common sense. That's what academics often underestimate. And they can very much separate the truth from the bullshit. And that challenge going back to academia is very, very important if you want to change academia doing its thing as well. Because at the moment, we are mainly funded by commercial interest. That is a problem. We are, if you want, a slave to the people who fund our research. For that to change, again, we have to get the public engaged, if we want it to change. The other thing you don't see, but we can't really see differences at this time of the year.
I hope that the project will help people in a community with their own concerns to get engaged more in thinking about where food fits and what the concerns they have about food. To have some then interactions between the people who currently do research in the hope that they're trying to benefit people for the future, but may not be doing or addressing the kind of questions that people at the community level have.
Future for food, if we don't get our act together within the next 30 years, the next generation will have serious problems.